Free thinker, freedom keeper, truth seeker. I think that's all of us, guys. I think we all fall in that category. What's up, guys? It is Thursday, February 27th, 2025. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 885,633. TikTok, next block. I hope you guys are doing well. It's about 4:50. Taking a little break in between shifts to talk to you guys. And I was in the car watching some videos. Look at this kid. This is the future, guys. Oh, that's not a kid. That's a guy. That's a grown man. He is hauling ass, too. He's probably on lunch break or something. I see some of those guys riding around town with that thing. That's cool. Anyways, I was in the car watching some videos and looking at the news, and we got the Jeffrey Epstein list coming out. Might be out by the time this video is uploaded. Pam Bondi, is telling Cash Patel, I need all the paperwork, all the files, all the thousands of files or whatever. We got Andrew and Tristan Tate getting their travel ban lifted in Romania, and now they're in America. You got a lot of left-wing propagandists getting fired. Trump kicking out the Associated Press. Caroline Levitt, Sweet Caroline, the White House press secretary, saying that the White House will no longer be ran, as far as the media is concerned, won't be ran by this left-wing media situation that approves whether or not who's in the White House for the press. And we're only going to have truth seekers in here. And then you got Jeff Bezos coming out basically saying, hey, it's going to be up to him to choose the editorials. In other words, they're not going to be left-wing anymore. I mean, I'm not going to say he bent the knee. I don't want to say that. But he already pretty much said, you know what, this is a losing situation. Me and the Washington Post being left-wing media or left-wing propagandist paper. And we're going to donate to the Trump campaign. And now he's just going in there. And then you got, and changing things. Basically saying we're going to be fair and balanced and in the middle. That's what he basically said. And not be a left-wing propagandist paper. And then you got some high-ranking people leaving and stuff. And, we got all these things going on. All the executive orders and Doge and the left getting mad and not standing for anything. And, when you're fighting the battle for these things, for being a free thinker, freedom keeper, and a truth seeker, and you're always constantly fighting, sometimes you just got to look up and go, wait a minute. We're winning. And I say that humbly because, again, we're not done. The war is not done. I don't think the Epstein client list, and I could be wrong when I say this, I'm just guessing. I don't think it's going to be that not big of a deal. How can I say this when word this right? I don't think they're going to give out all the information. And I don't think we're going to get all the justice we should get. Meaning, in other words, who are the people that are the frequent flyers, right? Who are the people that are actually going there time and time again? Again, anybody can go somewhere one time and figure out, whoa, wait a minute, this ain't for me, and never come back. I don't really care about that. And of course, unless, of course, there's video of them doing some things while they're there that one time. But I'm just saying, if they're, came there and they're on the front lawn or just came in there and just like, oh, no, this ain't for me, then, we don't really care about that. But the people that have suffered, the children and the families and everybody else, there's a place for people like that, and there's a lot of people, big name people, including people on our side. I believe that. I believe that are going to be on that list. So again, my prediction for that is it's going to be a big deal and stuff. But, people, when you put their feet to the fire, the Cash Patels and the Pam Bondis of the world, that we're talking a big game, man, a big game for years before they actually got their positions. Now that they're in that position, it's one thing to say you're going to give up the names and open up the files and everything else. It's one thing when you don't have the position. It's another thing when you do have that position. And, again, it's easy for me to say, oh, if I was there, I would do this and that. There's a lot of moving parts with that stuff, man. It is. And especially if you got some people on your team that are you doing that. And again, this ain't, and I say this all the time, it seems like sometimes it's like Republican versus Democrat, Republican good, Democrat bad. No. It's not like that. There are a lot of Democrats that are bought and paid for and stuff like that. But there are some Democrats that are literally just, they're just little puppets, and, they don't want to lose their position, and they just fall in line, and they don't get involved with some of that. But then you got some Republicans who are, let's just say, power hungry, and they want what they want as far as, their personal likings or whatever, and the things that they like to get. Those are very, very powerful positions that are in jeopardy. And also those bureaucrats that put those people in those positions, don't want them saying stuff about things. So again, I don't want to make this about, a Jeffrey Epstein clientless video, but I'm just saying, we'll see what happens. But again, I think we're winning. But with that being said, we still have a long way to go, right? The mainstream media is still, for the most part, and again, we're tearing it down slowly but surely, because we're watching the dying of the mainstream media. We're in the process of watching that. We're taking over a regime, guys. Sorry about the wind. We are taking over a regime slowly but surely, because these last 4 years and more, even when Trump was in office, the mainstream media was 90% left wing. The whole time Trump was in office, Twitter was ran not only by the left-wing media, but also the federal government and the bureaucrats, the unelected bureaucrats that were controlling it. And again, this ain't about right versus left. I'm not saying that. To me, it's good versus evil. Now, nobody's pure good and nobody's pure evil. Nobody. No one. Not even Adolf Hitler. He wasn't pure evil. He was a very, very evil man. But, if you read about him, he had some good things about him. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a good guy, of course. And but if you focus on all things bad about someone, like, I got a lot of bad, personality traits and stuff like that. And if I had the media follow me around, basically just talking and focusing and putting the spotlight on everything bad about me or you or anybody, it would seem like it's bad. And that's what the mainstream media does to people like Trump, and now they're doing that to Elon Musk and anybody who's part of MAGA. And again, MAGA is not purely good. And the bureaucrats and the left who are with the bureaucrats and the rhinos on the right, swamp creatures, the blob, whatever you want to call them, are not pure evil. They're just power hungry. But for the most part, depending on what your definition is, if you believe in God and doing right things and stuff like that, I believe the side that I'm on and we're on and you're on, I believe it's the good side. I really do. And again, nobody's perfect. But we got to keep fighting for the truth, And also, when it comes to Bitcoin, and I swear I can make a Satoshi Saturday video every day about Bitcoin, because, when you get up in the morning and you see the price going down, and then you read the mainstream media's coverage of why the price is going down and stuff like that. Because again, I don't like to get caught up in a bubble, guys. I just don't. I do watch a lot of stuff that I agree with. Mostly 90% of the stuff I listen to, it's basically things that I want to learn about and people I agree with. I do that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm guilty as charged. I am. But I do listen to the mainstream because, again, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. You got to know what your enemy is thinking. And when it comes to Bitcoin, and you look at the prices and everything else, and you see their coverage of it, it's like, again, the people that we love and care about that are normies. I don't want to talk bad or disparage people that don't understand and know what we know. Because again, if you're a person that voted for Kamala Harris, and you think Bitcoin's a scam and all this other stuff, and you think Joe Biden's a good guy and Trump is evil and Hitler and all that stuff. And again, I'm not saying you can't have your own opinion, but you obviously and clearly know that they've been they've been psyoped. We know that, psychological operation. We know that. But when you look at the price of Bitcoin as far as we're concerned. Most of us on this channel that's watching this video that are almost or all in their savings with Bitcoin, you look at this and it's a gift, you know what I mean? But the people that have sold, because that's what happens, it's a buyer and seller game, and this is why the price goes up and down, because again, anytime someone buys, someone has to sell, and so every time somebody sells, somebody has to buy. You look at that and you go, wow, it's just an opportunity, because we're so ahead of the game that people are not going to believe or understand. I'm not trying to get into a Satoshi Saturday here, and I have to talk to myself about this because I get on these rants, but people are not going to believe that you got Bitcoin for not only under $100,000, but under $1 million. And I know that seems crazy now, but that's why I tell people, just study Bitcoin, understand what you got. And when you do, once you know, and once you learn, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So yeah, you know, we're winning some battles. You know, we're going to lose some, especially in court, because Trump is going against the regime and the blob and the, you know, apparatus and stuff like that, going against all that stuff. And they have a lot of weapons, and their biggest weapon right now is the narrative and the mainstream media. And we're slowly but surely tearing it apart. And it's great to see, man. You still got some major propagandists out there on MSDNC and the Clown News Network, the Clinton News Network, the Crime News Network, CNN, NBC, nothing but crap, ABC, CBS, PBS, and the rest of them. Those guys are propagandists, man. And like I said, mainstream media is not, you know, it's not going to go down easy. They're just not. And as much as I love, you know, Twitter and stuff like that, it's going to take a little bit for them to take down the legacy media. I'm not saying it's not going to die, because I've already said it is, but it's not going to go out without a fight. But what we need to do as individuals is be these people right here, right? We need to keep being that and not being quiet about it. We got to help tear down these lies, you know, because again, these people are infringing on our liberties and our pursuit of happiness. You know, because if you can't speak or say something and getting, you know, blocked, and you're getting, you know, you can't say certain things. Because again, I know here on this platform in particular, I'm not the most liked on this platform by the algorithms, but hopefully that will change, because I'm not going to change. I'm never going to sell myself short to get more views or something like that and tell you guys lies or try to capitulate. I'd rather lose my whole audience and shut down my YouTube before I do that. My YouTube channel before I do that, seriously. And I'm not saying that like I'm this brave guy or whatever. I'm just holding the phone talking shit. So, but we still got to keep fighting. We got to do what we got to do within our power, within our reach. And how do you do that? You got to keep learning, right? Unbrainwash yourself if you haven't been 100% already. Get rid of bad ideas. When you listen to the mainstream media, know that most of that stuff is a lie. It's all an agenda, and it's all propaganda, and they're trying to protect the narrative. And this is what we got to do. We got to break that narrative, you know. And unfortunately, you're probably gonna, you know, not speak to family members and stuff like that, because again, it's gonna look like it's Democrat versus Republican or whatever it is. But again, it's not that, man. It goes way deeper than that. Because and although I got to give credit where credit is due, Fox News has been doing a pretty good job. Now, I don't watch all the programs, but I definitely have watched some, because again, I fell out with Fox News in 2020. Because again, when you look at the surface layer stuff and you look at, oh, I'm a conservative or I'm a liberal, and it's CNN and MSNBC versus Fox or whatever, you think your side is right. The problem is Fox News does a lot of stuff I don't like either, and they did a lot of stuff I don't like. But now they're coming around. You know, Fox News is doing a pretty good job. And when you're watching this stuff, you just got to know where they're coming from, right? They're trying to make money. Their ratings have gone up since the election season. And MSNBC and CNN and all those guys have been losing. They've been losing viewerships. So again, Fox News, although they are not perfect, they have been doing better. But there's a lot of news stations out here that are not only doing the regular news and cable stuff, but they're also getting into the social media. Like News Nations is a great one. Straight and Arrow News, SAN, that's a great one. There's a lot of individual channels out there. You got to see where they lean. You just Google it and see what side do they lean, and try to be fair and balanced. I like News Nation. I like them because they got left wing and right wing people. Newsmax is obviously quote unquote far right and stuff like that. But just keep educating yourself, right? Understand and know. And I tell you guys this all the time. Make sure you understand how the world works. And for you Bitcoiners out here that are still, not wanting to talk about politics and stuff like that, when Bitcoin shoots up high or low or whatever, and if we launch a strategic Bitcoin reserve, I hate to tell you this, but that's political, okay? Bitcoin is being gobbled up by a lot of big entities, political entities, countries, governments, stuff like that, that if you don't understand and know about that, then you're not going to make the right moves and how to navigate and how to buy and stuff like that. And again, if you're just buying every day and you don't really care and you're just studying the base layer and the fundamentals of Bitcoin, that's fine too. But you need to understand and know what's going on outside of the world of Bitcoin. Because again, we are living in the world and Bitcoin is great and I love it. It's just a tool. It is a perfect monetary system to an imperfect world, and we have to understand that imperfect world. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, despite what's going on and us winning and stuff like that, inflation is still going to be something. And I know inflation is probably going to be coming down here soon, I think. But overall, it's not because the dollar is going to be this great thing and they're going to stop printing and all this other stuff. It's because the rate of inflation is going to slow down, meaning the inflation is not going to be 5, 6, 7, 8%, but it may only be 3 or 4%. But it's still inflation, right? The rate of inflation is slowing down, but it's still the US dollar, even though it's the best one in the world, it's always going to lose purchasing power, right? You have $100,000 today. In 10 years from now, I don't give a shit who's in office. The purchasing power you had today in 2025 is going to be much less in 2035. You know it, and I know it. And despite them trying to cut the spending in the government, and I really appreciate them doing that, Doge, because they have to. And I'm not saying we're going to go bankrupt or anything like that, or default on the debt. At the end of the day, even though the debt clock, and you look at the debt, the debt has been slowing down since Doge has been here. Again, the debt is still going up. And I always say this, and you guys know this, long term, there's only one way to stop inflation and reverse inflation and make it deflation. In other words, take your savings, because you're not even supposed to be investing, you're just supposed to be saving in the money. Take that hard-earned energy and savings and put it into something, and not only will it not lose purchasing power, but with this money, it'll increase your purchasing power over time, and also pay off that debt that our grandkids are going to be stuck with. There's only one way to do that, guys. And if you've been on this channel long enough, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.